Welcome, my friends, to a new episode of Teaching Unplugged. And in this episode, we're going to see an activity based on dogme principles, which means an activity that is run in the classroom but without material. The activity that we're going to watch today is called How I Got My Name. How I Got My Name. And it is actually based on the wonderful book by Scott Thornberry and Luke Meddings, Teaching Unplugged. And we're going to see Sami Mahmoud from British Training Centre running this activity with a group of teens. So let's see how he would set up this activity. Let's go.
Are you ready? How are you all? Good. How do you feel today? Feel good? Yes, we'll see the read that. Okay, again. So, how are you today? Good? Feel good? Okay. Shall I ask about the names? What's your names? Let's start with the first one. Gender. Okay. Is it like this? Yes? Okay. Come in. Okay. Jessica? Goddess? Very. Okay. Right. Now. Okay, lovely names, by the way. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to stand up. Yes. And let's look here. How many questions do we have here? Three questions. Can you read them quickly? Good. So, what you will do now is you will move around the class and ask each other these three questions. At least you have to talk with 3 people. Good. So, how many questions you will ask? How many people at least you will talk to? 3.
Now, this is how Sami set up this activity. It is time now to see how he's going to run it. So let's go.
Start.
The name has a meaning which is it's very it's very much. Not very much. It's very much. Does your name have a meaning? It's meaning who is thankful for God. Yes. Does your name have, doesn't anyone in your family have a name? Does your name is famous in your country or city?
So the name is the same. I don't have one.
Maybe not much, but it's kind of.
You finished? Yes. So Jessica and me. change with those.
My name and the meaning, which is those thankful for God. Does anyone have any? Do you have that name? Yes.
Yes. So if you have talked to 3 persons, you can.
Now, time for Sammy to round off the activity. Let's see how he's going to do that. Let's go.
Thank you so much, guys. So now, can you tell me about? Choose one and tell me about. One person and tell me about. What do you know about him?
Her name is the good singer. And no one in her family has this name.
Really?
And it's popular.
Why isn't a popular name in the country or city?
Maybe in another country. It's not Arabic.
It's not an Arabic. So how do you feel when you are in our country and you have this very nice name? It's good. Yeah. Okay. Another question? Chat. Yeah.
I think maybe fun. There's anyone has this name.
Really?
Her family.
Not at all.
It's good.
It's very popular. How many people you know that has the same name? Many people. I know 2 people. They are my students. Yeah. Yeah. Who else?
Said his name meaning is he said his name meaning is very thankful to God. I think no one is in his family have that name.
How come it's a very popular name?
Because we have all the names in the family. There is no one has. Yeah, they're very different names. Yeah.
And he says it's not very popular. I think it's very popular.
How come Ahmed is not a very popular name?
It's not popular as Muhammad.
Yeah, yes. Muhammad is more popular.
It's more popular. Ahmed is very popular. Yeah.
It's popular, but not like Muhammad.
Yeah. Okay. Who else? Yes. Levine.
Yes. Her name means the orange flower.
Yeah. When you say bee, is it the flower, the orange or the orange flower? No.
It's a fruit.
Or the fruit? Yes. Not the color.
Yes. And there's no one in her family has that name. Her name is not
Yeah. This is the first time to hear the name, but it's very nice name. Yeah.
her name is Barbados and no one in her family has the same and it's
Very popular. Yeah. Nice.
Okay. Her name is something royal or elegant. And her family, in her family, no one has this name. Maybe her neighbors. I think it's not popular.
Not popular. Yeah, I agree. Yes. But I believe it's a strong name. That's why it's not popular. Yeah. Okay.
Ella. Her name means love. And no one in her family has that name. And she thinks that it's popular.
Popular. Yeah, Hera. I've heard it many times. Yes. So we have 2 names that have the same meaning, which is Jessica and Hera. Yeah, the same meaning. Yes. But they're completely different cultures. Okay. What's the most unusual name you have heard of in your city? Your name? Why?
I think it's unusual to anyone. Anyone I say my name to, he's just like staring at me at what the.
Yeah. What else? Ranim. Why this one is unusual?
I don't know, but
just have one friend that she's name is Bonnie, and I never heard
The name before. Salsabil. Yeah. It's very unusual, yes. Yeah. But I like it. It's very nice. Salsabil. Very strong, yeah. Yeah, you told me about it. Wow, yeah. It's unusual, yes.
It's unusual, it's very, very good.
Yeah, it's very unusual, yeah. Okay, what else? Your mother's name? What's his name? Dogme, yeah. Very strong names, it's very unusual. So, do you think, is it good to be given a strange or unusual name? But in a bad way, not in a good way?
Yeah, bad strange name.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very bad.
Why?
Because in school, these guys will bully him and start making fun of him.
I agree, yes.
yes, what I know.
Why?
Yes, I was the bullying in school. Yes, I like the girl is called Frozen. It's good.
Frozen, yeah. Someone called Frozen.
When someone asks her what's your name,
That's a good question. I agree, yes. You know what happens in my family that because my grandfather and his brother, they love each other lots. So once we have a baby, he called his brother the name of his son the name of his brother. So his brother told him, okay, I will call my son the name of you. Maybe my uncle, they called his son like my father's names. My father, he named me as my uncle. So my name is Sami Muhammad, Sami Mahmoud. My uncle, my birth cousin, his name is Mahmoud Sami. And we have Hassan Mahmoud, we have Mahmoud Hassan. We have, like, I don't know, very strange family here. Okay. Yeah, it's a circle, yes. Okay, thank you so much.
Now let's think about this activity that we saw Sami running. And in terms of skills, we see that there is good focus on listening and speaking. Someone might say, but Shadi, we haven't seen the teacher play in any tracks. Now what I mean by listening here is the students listening to each other and also listening to the teacher. Because as long as the students were speaking, then at the same time, of course, they were listening to one another. So we have two skills here. We've got listening and we have speaking. But in the activity, we didn't have any kind of writing, we didn't have any kind of reading. However, it could be added because you can ask your students later to write a short text, for example, about how they got the names or the most famous name in the country, something like that. So writing can be added also later. If we think about systems, well, I mean, there isn't clear focus on specific set of vocabulary or specific grammar rules, but in terms of grammar, we can say that as long as they're going to ask 3 questions and the 3 were yes or no questions, so that could be a kind of focus on yes or no questions and how you pronounce them in terms of intonation and all that stuff. Through this we can say that there is a bit of focus on grammar, a bit of focus on pronunciation. Now talking about the level of those students is intermediate, and as we saw, they were able to run the activity, come up with ideas, talk, discuss. So I believe that's a very fine activity with higher levels. Can it be run with lower levels? I guess it will need some adaptation so that it works with lower levels, but I'd rather run it with higher levels. Now, talking about advantages, as you see, zero material, easy to set up. You don't need to change a lot in the classroom, and there aren't many instructions there, so it's not a big deal. Also think about it, it's a productive activity. Students produce language, and also it can work as an icebreaker. So you can run it, when you meet your students for the first time. That activity would work this way as well. So my friends, as you saw, Sammy ran this whole activity without materials at all, and everything was based just on students' names. That's all. And of course, you students have names, so you can run this activity in a very smooth and nice way. So thank you so much, my friends, for watching this episode of Teaching Unplugged, and bye-bye. See you. Remember, I'll be down there in the comments answering all your questions.